Hello everyone and welcome to our I Pick My Butt video, Chapter 15 in Archero. What a huge pain in the butt. Finally beat it. In this video, we're going to be going over how I was able to do it. Now, I wanted to make this video specifically with no ALE equipment. You may have seen that I have an ALE bow in my inventory, but we actually went in with a level 60 staff. I'm also having a legendary level 60 Void Robe. Void Robe, why? Because it was the highest rarity. I wanted the hit points. As far as rings, we went in with a level 50 bull and a level 50 lion. I would say it'd be nice to have both lion rings, but really both the ads and the bosses are difficult in this. And then as far as the pets, you see 2 laser bats, level 50, and last but not least, we're going in with a level 40 frozen bracelet and a level 40 angel locket. Now using the staff, the main things I'm going to try to get is multi-shot, diagonal arrow, and ricochet. Ricochet is going to be really useful against the kind of rock throwing boss that we have, but as far as the other ones, it's kind of needed with staff, especially being as under level as we are. Now the big thing to keep an eye on with these fiery kind of bomb launching snakes here is we really need to move out of the distance. Just moving slightly out of the way isn't going to be enough. They're always going to break into threes, and be careful if they get launched over the wall because 2 of them will pop back over and have the chance of burning you. There we go, multi-shot, perfect. Now the other big enemy I want to focus on is the skulls you see here coming down, the larger ones that bounce at you. Now I'll show you another video right here on the side. If you happen to get some sort of freeze type thing, surprisingly the frozen bracelet doesn't seem to affect it, but look what happens with them. It seems like they freeze and they jump a lot farther on the map, so stay away from anything freeze related if you can. Normally these skeletons are going to jump if they're within 3 tiles from you, but as you can see once again, this one is pretty much jumping about 9 tiles. The one that's in the bottom left there, bam, 9 tiles hits me. So really guys, stay away from the freeze. I think what makes this chapter really exciting is we have a whole bunch of new enemies to go against and we get to learn the characteristics behind them. Now as far as the snakes, if you run into them, there is no collision damage. So don't be scared as far as running towards them and running through them. Just be cautious of when they are going to launch that bomb. And those big skulls that we talked about, the ones that you don't want to freeze, well, simply running at them is going to cause them to jump over you. Simply keep on running, don't run and then stop because they will still do damage. There's a little bit of a radius of what they can actually hit. But you can see I'm constantly just kind of moving around the second I see those bombs. You can pretty much learn the timing of them, and once you do that, it's a matter of knowing, okay, left side, right side, upside, downside, and so on. And I don't know why I didn't mention this in the beginning, we're using the Art of Combat. There's the stats right there for a level 17 rare. And if you saw my video about which was the best spell book, I talked about how I enjoyed using Enlightenment, but eventually I was going to switch over to this. I am a fan of these auto ones that are just going to automatically trigger on their own. I don't really like the idea of having to double tap on the screen. I know there's a lot of people saying that Arcane Archer is OP, but for me, Art of Combat is the way to go. We're getting ready to go into the first boss, and usually I would like to have multi-shot and diagonal to go into this, especially if we're facing the Rock Golem. If we're going up against Tornado Joe, which really his name isn't Tornado Joe, but it rolls off the tongue, and that's what I like to call him. He's pretty easy in my mind, but really the Rock Golem could be a huge pain in the butt if you're not rocking those diags and that multi. You'll see here in a second, we're going to struggle with him a little bit because unfortunately we got the Rock Golem and we are not prepared for him. The one thing that saved me though is I had multi-shot and I had ricochet. When he spawns his minions, the ricochet really is going to help out. If you don't have it and you're just going with multi, it still doesn't seem like enough. They just start piling up on you. The hardest attack to dodge is where he throws 2 rocks that turn into 8 rocks, and then those 8 rocks turn into 32 rocks. And what I find the easiest way to dodge them is hopefully you can run away from them and get it where it splits that first time, and then you're able to dodge it the second time. I've tried to sneak in between the middle, time them out and so on, but I still get stuck with it. And you can see here, without having those diagonal arrows, this is really taking a long time. Now the other attacks he has, he is going to come twirling at you and then shoot a couple of rocks that are going to shoot in a star pattern 5 different directions. And then the last one being where he kind of just chills and launches in a couple of different directions. That's where you really want to get the firing in. That's kind of your moment, like right here. Start shooting, piling in, and that's where you can do his damage. But he usually spawns those minions like you see there too, so be careful, move in short distances. Here's a video on the side of me beating him with the diagonal and the multi. The battle you just watched was well over a minute. The one here on the right, this is actually at stage 20, and this only takes about 15 seconds. Stage 20 means that he's a lot harder to beat, but you can see how we're just melting him real quickly, and it doesn't really seem to be an issue. So like I said, if you're going against him, diag, ricochet, and multi are the things you want to get. And in case you missed it, the abilities we've taken so far are Bolt, Multi-Shot, Ricochet, Bloodthirst, and we just took the Spirit Blaze, which is also going to give our hero some increased attack damage, thanks to the new update. Now you'll see a little blip here at the end. This is actually where my mom called me in the middle of my gameplay, screwed up my recording, so you won't actually see me walk through into the next room, but if you see that, that's what's going on there. Thanks, Mom, for calling me. You really screwed me up, but I still beat it, so it works out. And I guess this leaves a good question of what do you guys do to keep people from calling you? Do you play on a device that's Wi-Fi only? Or do people call you in the middle and screw you all up? At any rate though, if you can't make it past level 10 without dying, I would say start over, because you really need that extra life when it comes later in the game. Up to 10, not bad, but once you get past 10 through 20, it starts getting a little bit hard, and then once you get past 20, it's insane chaos. So as you can see, there's a ton more enemies on the screen, and I'm not going to really worry too much about those lava lizards, because I know how they attack. I know if I keep on moving, they're not going to be a high priority. I do want to get these little skulls out of the way because they can just do some terrible collision damage, and you may not have seen it there, but there was actually kind of a flying hippo or flying pig. He's going to shoot 5 beams of air at you, and they're going to be auto-targeting. So what I try to do is get rid of him first also, and then the tornado guys, then the golems, and then I'll finally save those little lizards for last, because like I said, they're not bad, they're scary at first, but really it's just knowing how they work. Keep on moving around the screen like you see me doing here, and just kind of watch out for whatever you can. There's really not a lot you can do besides just keep on running, find that second to fire. With the staff itself, there is a little bit of a delay, so you gotta kind of learn the timing and kind of say, hey, I'm gonna at least get one shot off here, I'm gonna stop, then I'm gonna run. And always, when I go in the beginning, I wait for those first couple of fireballs to come at me, and then I move over. Usually I'm just doing a left or a right beginning because I know I can stay back. I don't want to go running right into them. But these are the little things that I do. I don't know if it's making sense to you guys, but you can see it in the video there. Here we are grabbing another ability, and this time we're going to take Invincibility Star, and I love this one because it just makes it where you can sit there, be in your little bubble, and get those shots off, and then run. Just, once again, learn the timing. Now the crit aura did look pretty appetizing there, but really on something like this, you can see you're moving so much, the last thing you want to do is stop just because you have that chance to do additional crit. Now we're about halfway through the video right now, and I think this would be the point where I'd say, hey, did you guys hit the thumbs up? Did you subscribe to the channel? One thing I never say though is hit the bell. Why am I not saying that? That should be a huge thing. You guys want to get notified, you want to be one of the first ones to comment, make sure that bell is on. Yes, YouTube is broken, so that's why a lot of people rely on Twitter. I always post on there just saying, hey, I've uploaded a video. I don't really do anything else on Twitter, unfortunately, so if you're going to see some funny pictures or other things, I really don't do that anymore. But that's a great way if you want to know what is coming out and not rely on the broken system of not getting your notification. Twitter's the way to go. Follow me there. Pick my butt at iPICKmyBUTT or something like that. It's in my comment section or description. Go down there, click on it, and join. And now we're getting ready to go in against Tornado Joe. And I'm going to actually post a video on the side of going up against him because unfortunately, well, I'm not going to say unfortunately, he only does the one main attack here where he's just throwing the ones that swipe left to right. He actually has another attack which is going to be one tornado surrounded by a bunch of them that circle around. You'll see it here. And if you look on the video on the right, you'll see I'm down the bottom left-hand corner. I actually try to hang out in the middle now. The reason behind is that large tornado in the middle of the circle is going to be what's actually auto-targeting you. So if you're over to the left, it might go over to the side. If you're in the dead center, it's going to go for you in the center. Now what I try to do is once I see it close enough, I step up in and then I kind of swoop around the bottom, kind of like a smile on a smiley face. That way, once it hits the wall, they will kind of bounce back away from you. Once again, step into the small tornadoes, go up to the left of the large, and then swoop down to the right. Up to the left, swoop down to the right. And you should be clear every single time. So we did get the double from beating Tornado Joe there, and I did choose to take the attack boost, knowing that going up against these enemies from 20 on are going to be a lot stronger and have a lot more hit points. But take a look at where that teleport thing is. Luckily for me, I played this over 100 times. I know where those teleports are and how these boards lay out. But just remember, every time you go on one of those teleports, it is going to take a couple of seconds before it will allow you to teleport back. So really learn these boards. And I honestly do believe that even with having my character at level 75 and my Helix at level 75, I am still going in under leveled with the gear that I have. Yes, I am not the best at the game. I do consider myself just slightly above average, but guys, this is a lot to take in. Now, we did grab the giant there, which a lot of people would say, oh man, you just increased your hitbox by a whole bunch, you're going to get smashed, but I really needed that additional damage to be dealt by having the giant ability. So if you end up getting this level right here, this one is a tough one. You pretty much are a sitting duck down here at the bottom. So keep on moving to that left to right like we talked about before and work your way out of it. I think I did take an oopsie up here at the top where I got a little cocky with it and said, oh, let me try to get the hit, and then I got blasted by it. I probably could have been smarter on this. We actually took 2 hits, one from the bomb, and then I walked through the fire. We actually took about 12,000 damage. We were at full health, and within a second, we're almost dead. And this is what makes this chapter so frustrating, but luckily I got through it. And when it comes time, if I'm not at full health when I'm coming to the angel, I'm going to take that heal because I don't know how many times I'm going to get hit. You can already see how scared I was and how I'm playing so much smarter now of just let me hide behind this coffin here because I don't want to take that damage and lose another time. Like I said, over 100 times of playing this, it took me to finally get this win. Now we can't actually see the enemy that's attacking us, but that's those flying pigs or hogs, whatever you want to call them. And we're just going to kind of rock and roll on this. Luckily for me here, because of my angel locket, I'm getting the double the health, brings me back to full health, and we're going back into it here. Some other abilities that I didn't get this run, but I hit another ones that I found really helpful. Obviously getting the second diagonal arrow is always a huge help. Really helps squash down on your main 3, but then you also have the chance of getting those other 2, which makes 5 hits altogether. Even the side arrows, those have been helpful too, but bouncy wall, I enjoy that. Headshot's really great for these past level 20, and even slow projectiles. So if you see those, the other ones aren't looking too good. Obviously, I could have probably done without the actual Spirit Blaze, or even a hit point one. But like I said, the ideal what I have, I want to get the multi, I want to get the diag, I want to get the ricochet, and you can see why. I've made it this far already. But we can see now things are getting really insane. This one's not too bad because, like I said, as scary as those lizards are, towards the end, they're not really that bad. Especially that's when all you have, it's like, okay, I know you're all going to launch at the same time. I'm just going to move and get rid of you, move again, and then keep on going. But this part right here, this was a huge pain. Thank God for Rico. Otherwise, these tornadoes, they're just blasting every single direction, and I absolutely hated this part. I thought I was going to die. Luckily, I survived, and once I got past this, it's like, okay, what's the next one bringing? And you'll see in a second that it's insane. The last one before, I don't know how I got past it. So here's the moment where iPICKmyBUTT's going to try to make it feel a little bit better. If you finally make it to that final boss and you don't beat him, don't beat yourself up too much. Out of those hundreds of times that I've played, wasting energy, spending gems, just constantly grind the game, I only made it to the final boss one other time. And I lost, and I was angry over it. But you can see here, we're about to lose pretty quickly. Luckily, I pull it out of my butt here. We got it. I thought that guy was going to kill me. But like I said, guys, you need to kind of feel it out for yourself. Even if like this here, you're watching the video, you're seeing how it is, it's good to know the moves he does, but it's still different once you get in front of him. And you'll see here in a second, he is a pain. So this boss has 4 main attacks, and the first one you're going to see is him shooting those 7 air balls at you. They're kind of auto-targeting at you right away. The next one I find is a huge pain. It's all these little yellow things going in every different direction, and then he has those spawns. The last one, which is the difficult one, is he's going to come charging at you like that there. And you saw with the fear there of him hitting me, I actually ran away and went right into one of those little yellow missiles. Now, as far as these ads, they're all going to kind of soak up the damage and keep you from hitting him. When I had the invincibility star on, that's when I should have stopped and really taken the damage on him. Now I'm dead, and this is the point here where I'm going, shoot, I'm dead, he still has half the hit points. I gotta find that right moment to just start laying into him and do as much damage as I can, and that's what you'll see here in a second. I just start firing everything that I have at him, and man, I am really getting nervous, but like I said, somehow I lucked, invincibility star, and we squeaked this one out. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. Good luck to you on it. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and remember, I pick my butt.